Hi, I'm the developer of
Schrödinger's cat and the Raiders of the Lost Qwark.
Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Sure thing. Now, I'm a game developer by trade, but I love my physics. And I know there's a lot of other people out there who do, but there's a whole lot of other people out there who think that quantum physics sits in this realm of brain surgery and rocket science, this unattainable knowledge that you can never gain. But for the ones who do love the physics, like myself, I wanted to make a game that took all those crazy concepts of particle physics, muons, gluons, bosons, and quarks, and turn it into something that has really cool visuals and that physicists like me could rally behind. The fact is you don't need a degree to play it, but it definitely helps you get all the jokes. Now, Schrödinger's cat, as an animal, as a creature, if you know your physics, Schrödinger's cat was a thought experiment back in the 1930s about the fact that a cat placed in a box whose life is based on the outcome of an atom is technically both alive and dead at the same time. Now that sort of throws all your regular logic on its head, and that's your introduction to the quantum physics world. When you're doing quantum physics, nothing makes sense anymore. And in fact, I think Richard Feynman was a guy who said, if you think you understand quantum physics, you actually don't know anything at all. So, this game is spawned from all the cool stuff that's going on in the Large Hadron Collider, the search for the Higgs boson, all that kind of stuff, the Big Bang Theory. That physics is becoming more to the forefront of what's kind of cool and it's okay to talk about. And I want to make a game that kind of doesn't dumb anything down. It's a lot of good fun. And crazy creatures, a bit like Oddworld, a bit like Lemmings. How's that for an introduction?
That is brilliant.
Okay.
So do you want to tell us what you play as, what are the characters, what you do?
Right. You play as Schrödinger's cat, and that cat is, he's dead or alive. Yeah, it doesn't feature into it too much, but the fact is that with this cat, you can both, it's your standard run, jump, and hit things, right? So there's creatures on the loose, you're trying to stop them, get them back into their cages of the particle zoo, but at the same time, what you've got are the quarks to help you out. Now, on the board behind me, you can see that the little green guy and the little red guy and the little blue guy, those are all the quarks that you pick up in the game. Now, quarks, if you know your physics, they're the building blocks of matter. Quarks make protons and neutrons, which then make atoms, which then make everything. So I wanted to make the quarks into these collectible army of creatures that you can pick up and mash together in different ways in order to make different combinations. So it's in that sense, that's where the lemming side of things comes from. As you're running through, you pick up 3 up quarks. Up quarks like to move things, down quarks will break things, tops protect, and bottoms build. So if you combine 3 lifters, you'll get something that lifts you over an obstacle. If you get 3 diggers, you get 3 down quarks that'll bash through the ground. But if you combine ups and downs together, you'll get a flying drill, which will both travel and break stuff. And then when you get into the tops, it'll make a protective bubble, but you can make a protective destructive bubble as well. So there's 14 different combinations of things you can do, and as you're collecting them, it's all based on what arsenal you've picked up. I don't know if you can see the screen behind me, but at the moment he's got 3 up quarks, which he's just not used properly. There we go. There's 1, 2, there's a third. And then 1, 2, 3, and he's made himself a copter that'll get him up over something he can't jump. He goes a little bit further, he can get a few more, and then he's going to find some down quarks. He's just working his way through the tutorial at the moment. He's going to need 6 to get over this portion, though. Yeah, so like I said, you've got these creatures to sort of help you through the basic obstacle part of it, and then you will eventually run into the gluons who steal your quarks, you run into the leptons that eat them, and you run into the boson that just generally get in your way. But like I said, all these things and all the mechanics of how they work come from physics, and if you've got a love of physics, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, you'll play it on a much higher level. You'll get all the jokes and that kind of thing, as opposed to somebody just coming in blind. Who knows? They'll come out the other end with a working knowledge of a few different things, handful of names of things. Hey, like I say, if you learn something in the process, it's entirely accidental. It's a lot of good fun, from noobs to geniuses.
So is your target audience, who are you basing it at?
I like to say it's for 8 to 10-year-olds and their geeky parents. Right. So I mean, my kids love it. I have a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they both they love the mechanics and they love the color. But then again, I'm quite happy to talk to them about physics whenever I get the chance. So they know about the Higgs boson, and they know that what quarks do. Now, what I would hope that the goal for the game is this. If you get somebody a kid who plays it, and then watches an episode of Wonders of the Universe or something with Brian Cox in it, and then suddenly they realize that there was more to the game than what you just saw. And you get out of there with a knowledge of quarks and a knowledge of stuff. But again, I say the education side of it, it's not in your face. We never stop the play and say, guess what, this is learning, because that'll just put you off. I just wanted to make something that was fun and had something to hang it on.
Is it teaching in a cool way then?
It's teaching without you even realizing it. I mean, if you come out the other end of it knowing that there are 6 types of quarks, 3 types of leptons, and bosons are their own antiparticles, you can. That's what'll happen. That's how the game mechanics work. But I'm not going to test you. I'm not going to send you to, I'm not going to give you a
GCSE exam.
I'm not going to send you, you're not going to pass your GCSEs based on this. So, no.
So there's no collector's edition with an exam in the back of it?
There isn't. No, although maybe I'll think about it. Yeah, can't possibly hurt to get people into science and technology that way.
Just a little extra.
Yeah.
Is it multiplayer or?
No, this is it's a single player puzzler platformer. Right now it's only on Steam. It came out on Steam 2 days ago. It's been getting great reviews. And when hopefully first thing in the new year, the folks at Team 17 have been working towards putting it on the consoles. So don't ask me which consoles at the moment. I know they're making the deals, and I've had my head down in the Steam version for so long that I'm just happy to be here showing it off. But we'll get into the business side of things later.
So the colors, everything. What's the sounds like?
Sounds are second to none. I actually have the whole thing is voiced. It's voiced in English, and it's all the voices in the game, 10 different characters, and all the quarks and things were done by AJ Locascio, who you may recognize from Back to the Future by Telltale Games. He was the voice of Marty McFly, and he has sort of used this as his playground. I asked him to do Schrödinger's cat, give it to me as sort of Marty McFly meets Guybrush Threepwood, and he gave me exactly what I got. He gave me exactly that, and then he went off and started to do all the other characters almost on request. So he's got somebody who sounds like Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. There's a gruff army soldier general type guy. There's a couple of old folks who just like a Statler and Waldorf. There's like I say, 10 different characters. You would not know they're all by the same guy, but they are. He's a fantastic voice actor. And then the music was done by Dean Burke, and he was about 3 years ago. I released a game in conjunction with Telltale called Hector: Badge of Carnage. It was a point-and-click adventure where it's just a gruff cop in a crime-ridden town. And Dean was the creator of Hector, and he and I collaborated on making Hector as a point-and-click adventure. He unfortunately was not able to get involved in this as he had other projects he was on, but he still provided the music, and I tell you, he's a Zimmer in the making.
And who made is this cat made by the model? Yeah.
No, the cat was made by a friend of a friend. Well, I guess a friend now, but it's now she's my wife. She does markets. Some of her friends, like she's part of this craft collective, and one of the girls who makes some of the stuff for that. My wife got that sort of commissioned to bring to the event today. And I love it. Everybody asks if it's part of the merchandise, and it's like I got to sell a few more copies before I can afford that level of merchandise. But for now, it's a great thing to look at.
What about the T-shirts?
What I can give you is one of these beautiful things. Let me get a shot of that. That's a Schrödinger's cat is alive, and a Schrödinger's cat is dead coin. You can make all you can make all your future decisions on the fate of your enemies, whether or not you hire somebody, whatever it is you like. But yeah, Schrödinger's cat, you're both dead and alive at the same time. That's your coin, and that's the metaphor, just extended one more piece. But those are limited edition. You got to come and play the game and earn the tutorial and earn it. Maybe answer something about physics for me.
And the cat is purple and pink. Is that dead and alive?
That's the split down the middle was always meant to represent the two sides of the same cat. But yeah, it looks a bit like a shadowing thing, but certainly he's the alive side and the dead side. He's the two faces of Schrödinger's cat.
It's definitely a good. I mean, the character models is brilliant. I mean, done a pretty good job.
Thanks very much.
Have you had many physicists come here and play it?
You know what? I get the occasional guy who comes by with his arms crossed, and he's kind of like, Schrödinger's cat, eh? What makes you think that you deserve to call your game Schrödinger's cat? As if there's some sort of a legacy that needs to be upheld. But the fact is, I know my stuff. It's the game that I would want somebody else to make if I was a physics fan. So I like to think I've done a decent job putting this together, and I can hold my own in the ring when it comes to a physics conversation. So most of the time, within a couple of minutes of chatting, I've turned them around. And so I'm quite happy to engage in any kind of conversation of that sort, and no, we have a good old time doing it.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
Buy it on Steam, 20% off until September the 30th, $7.99. And if you love your physics, it's fantastic. If you don't love your physics, it's got a cat in it. Who can go wrong?
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks.